Welcome to our series, The World After Coronavirus. In this series, we talk to experts on what the world might look like after this virus is beat. We will beat it, but there will be a new world. It will look different. How might it look different in the field of the humanitarian response? We talk today to Professor Muhammad Hamid Zaman.
Looking at humanitarian assistance, there are some positives that one can imagine. One of them is a global recognition that is happening now, that regardless of where you live, what you look like, what country of origin you have, whether you choose to pray in a certain way or have no religion whatsoever, we're all in this together. And I think that's a good thing. I think that sense of humanity, that sense of solidarity is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I hope that it will continue, that we will have a greater sensitivity towards those who are much more vulnerable than you and I are. I think humanitarian assistance will be more cognizant of people who are living in much more confined spaces than people in Boston are, people who don't have the ability to wash their hands 10 or 20 times a day, who may not have any soap or any hand sanitizer or any clean water whatsoever. So I think in that sense, we will have a greater recognition for people who are most vulnerable. At the same time, I'm also worried. I'm worried because in the recession that seems increasingly likely, humanitarian assistance might decrease, not increase. I am also worried that many people who may have certain political worldviews may use this time to erect greater walls and sort of create policies that are far more exclusionary than the ones that already exist. So I think there is an increasing tension, but my hope is that this recognition that all of us are in this together will change the way we do things. For example, in my own field of biomedical engineering, there is an increased awareness and appreciation of creating systems and devices and tools that can be built on site, that do not require global supply chains and large-scale manufacturers. And I think that revolution, that sense, is increasingly pervasive. I think in terms of our ability to teach students of what humanitarian assistance means would also change positively. And above all, I think there will be an increased recognition that it is not just the field of humanitarian logistics or humanities, but one where engineers and doctors, theater artists and mental health experts all will come together. And I think that would be a phenomenal thing, a recognition of interdisciplinary scholarship and practice. There is an increasing worry amongst many scholars that I engage with that if every nation takes care of her own citizens, then who takes care of those who do not have any citizenship, who are displaced and who are stateless and voiceless and have no political agency? I think there's a very real danger of that. But I think the sense among many that this needs to be really highlighted is also going to increase, because once an epidemic comes, it doesn't know any borders, it doesn't know any walls. So I think this recognition is hopefully going to emphasize something that many of us have been arguing for a long time, is to create a better health system that works for everyone. Worst case scenario is the coronavirus epidemic goes for a long period of time and really sort of undermines the gains we have made in creating health systems, in creating equity, and it really sort of starts to undercut those. That's what my worry is, that it is not just a matter of weeks, it's a matter of months, it's a matter of years, it's a matter that keeps coming back and really continues to erode many of our gains. And I think that's what would be very, very concerning. The second thing, I think engineers tend not to pay attention to history, but I think every now and then you have to. The challenge with the 1918 pandemic was not just the flu, it was the secondary bacterial infections. Most people actually did not die of the viral infection. Actually, they died of bacterial infection. So it was a secondary infection. And that's what I'm very concerned about because of increasing rates of antimicrobial resistance. Our antibacterial arsenal is weaker today than it should be because of large-scale antimicrobial resistance. So in places where refugees are because of hygiene issues, lack of care, there may be a second punch lurking just in the shadows, and we are not quite prepared for that. Best case scenario is that our ingenuity and our humanity continues to guide us, and simultaneously as we practice, and I don't like the term social distancing because I think we need to be socially more connected, not less. Physical distancing, absolutely. So as we practice physical distancing, at the same time, people are coming up with new ideas in science and technology and vaccine. So on one end, I'm hopeful that that would happen. And at the same time, a recognition that people will take care of everyone, and that becomes a permanent thing, that we care about everybody.